Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Buddhang saranang gacchami, dhammang saranang gacchami, sanghang saranang gacchami. Sadhu, sadhu. Where were we? Anybody tell me?
Last lesson, we study about the feeling. We cannot control the biological reaction, but we can control the feeling. The feeling is a part of brain function. Brain waves do not exist until we contact with environment.
Okay, until we contact the objects through our eyes, our ears, our nose, our body.
Yes.
So we know the problem here is the contact generate the feeling, and the feeling generate the self, which is our identity. And then we suffer because we have selfness. I am doing, I feel, I eat, I talk, always I, me, my. And that is a identity. And the identities exist because we don't understand the feeling. The whole thing about the ego and identity is just about the feeling. We feel we are. I feel I am doing, me, nobody else. And I am the root of the universe. I am the best. That's why if somebody challenged me, I feel upset. Upset is some kind of feeling. So greed, anger, delusion, always a feeling. It's just a feeling, subjective feeling, uncontrollable feeling, unwanted feeling, unwise feeling, something we don't know ourselves. But that constitutes our selfness. Okay. So, do you see the problem with the self? I am. Listen to me. I am talking. When you talk to your son, you say, son, listen to me. Do you usually say that? Yes, you do. You said to your husband, my darling, listen to me. Me. Always me, I. You see, that's the breakdown relationship. And it hurt. It hurt you. It hurt everybody. But you don't know. You keep thinking about yourself, the center of the problem. So, what is about the self? The whole thing about the Buddhism is about the self. Understanding self, understanding yourself. Do you understand yourself? Do you understand yourself when you are eating, sleeping, toileting, talking to your husband, talking to your father, talking to your son? Are you talking to your husband similar way you talk to your son? Or are you talking to your son similar way you talk to your parent, your father? Three men, father, husband, and son. Three men. Now your son is growing up. Suppose he about 20, and your husband about 45, and your father just about 65. So three men standing in front of you. How do you react to three men? Are you treating all of them the same? Suppose You go to the supermarket, try to buy a shirt for your father, one for your father, one for your husband, and one for your son. Your son is now 20, your husband about 45, and your father is just about 65. All figures, similar size. But are you going to pick up the same thing for 3 men? Or you have to be selective. You know the favorite color of your father, and you will select the shirt with that color, particular color for your father, because you know he liked that color. And you wouldn't select something different if you know that would not suit your husband. You know the taste of your husband, what color he wants, what kind of shirt he wants, what material he wants, you know. So you will select the shirt suitable for him, to please him. And you also know your son, what color he wants for his shirt. So you standing in front of 3 men in a supermarket, and you want to buy each one shirt for each person you love. Are you going to treat them the same? No, that's the feeling. The feeling you have for your son is different from your husband. Don't tell me that you talk to your husband like you talk to your son. The feelings are different. Am I right? You see, when immediately when you turn around, you talk to your son, you change the voice, you change the tone, you change the feeling. And when you talk to your husband, 3 men standing up in front of you, but you exhibit a different feeling, different expression to each person, you know. Never you treat them the same. Why? Immediately when you pick up the shirt, you talk to your father. Father, I think this one's good for you. And you pick up another one. Darling, my husband, you can have this one. Because you know his taste. He like it. And you pick another one for your son. You say, son, you can have that one too. Don't tell me that you exhibit the same feeling for 3 men, to your husband, to your father, and to your son. No, 3 different kind of feeling immediately change. You see, change immediately from the father to the husband to the son. It changed immediately. And remember, day to day, we eat, we sleep. All the feeling come into our consciousness, regardless whether you will like it or not, you are mindful or not, you are conscious or unconscious or not. It still come through your eye, ears, nose, and it come to your consciousness. If you eat a noodle soup, beef noodle, somebody like beef noodle soup every morning, they go to the phở, they eat noodle soup, and they like it. What do you like from the noodle soup? Tell me. Can anybody tell me what do you like in the noodle soup? Have you tried the noodle soup? Beef noodle? Chicken noodle? I think you do. Some people eat already. What kind of things inside the noodle soup you most like?
Dear Master, I like the soup taste of soup.
You just like the soup.
Yeah.
So you just don't like the chicken or beef. You don't like the
the most important thing is the soup. Yeah.
yeah, but you just like the soup. So you better not to eat everything. You just swallow the soup. Is it true? You see, you're telling a lie. You see. Thùy Linh, what you most like in the noodle soup? Don't tell me you eat everything.
I like everything.
Yeah, you like a pig, you know,
Pig,
like everything.
pig, pig.
You know, pig, when they eat something, they like everything. When you put everything to the pig like it. They eat everything.
Chicken, beef.
Min Yi, what do you like? What do you most like in the noodle soup?
I think that I like soup.
You like soup? Okay, you
Yes.
better have soup, not the noodle. Okay, not the beef,
Yeah.
not the chicken.
Yes.
Okay, so you go to the phở. You just swallow the soup, and the rest you just give it away.
Yes.
Yes or
Like
no?
yes. If the
You see, you don't. The problem with you is you never pay
I don't
attention to
pay
what you eat.
because I care the soup, not everything. I don't care. Okay.
Yeah, you don't care doesn't mean that you don't like. You like it. You eat it. You ate it. You enjoy it. So you see the feeling of eating the noodle, the feeling of eating the chicken, and the feeling of tasting the soup. It's so different. Some people are addicted to the soup. Some people are addicted to the chicken. They just want chicken. Okay. I saw some of my disciples. They went to the noodle shop. They always order chicken noodle, chicken noodle, chicken noodle. They don't want anything else. And they just want chicken. Particular chicken legs. They like chicken legs. That's it. They don't want anything else. So depending on your feeling, remember whatever you do at the end of the day, it comes into your consciousness. Why people keep going to the noodle shop and eat the noodle soup every morning? Not because they like it, but because their consciousness. That's the problem, you see. That's the problem of reincarnation, of cycle of rebirth. You like it, and once you like it, you establish your selfness, identity. And your identity as a self, which contains of 5 aggregate. And then you keep moving around cycle of rebirth. So feeling is important. Now you understand the feeling? The feeling is very important. If your husband said to you, I don't want you, go away. When he is playing the computer game and you keep asking him something, and he said, get out of my way. I want to play computer games. And you get upset. Upset is feeling. Upset is anger. Anger and greed. Greed dissatisfy the greed and then leading to the anger. And if you don't know, you come into delusion. So 3 things, 3 poison inside you immediately. When you try to talk to your husband something, and he keep playing computer game, he said, get away, let me play. Or he enjoying watching the football. You know, football games, every boys in Vietnam like it, you know. And when you talk to him about something, he said, get out, I want to see. I want to watch a football game. And if you keep talking to him, you dissatisfy him, you disrupt him. That's a feeling. And if you cannot talk to him, that's a bad feeling for you too. You feel very bad. You feel that your husband treat you unnicely. But the point is he's addicted to something. He focuses in something and you disrupt him. That's a disruption of the feeling. You see? Disruption of the feeling. You're not disrupting him to watch the football, but you're disrupting his feeling. That's a difference. You have to understand it. So how can you move a man from watching seriously watching football games on the television, how do you move him away from the television? How? Tell me. Share with me some experience. I don't know, because you have family. You got that problem. So tell me, how? Are you going to tell me, darling, I love you so much? Look at me. He wouldn't care. He wouldn't look at you. He keep watching the television because he's focusing on the football game. Maybe the international football game between Vietnam and Thailand. So how can you move him out of the movie, of the television? How? You have to substitute the feeling, replacing it by another feeling, a better feeling. If he's indulging himself into the football, and you know he's test and a person he is, means selfness. You have to know, because you live with him, you know. So once you know his feeling, you can control him. Like your husband, if he want to control you, it's very simple. He just tap in your back and he say, darling, I love you so much. And you say, wait. I cook something for you. I do everything for you. If he say, today you look beautiful, you say, listen, sit down, darling. I make a coffee for you. You do everything for him just because he say nicely to you. So you act emotionally, react emotionally, biologically, emotionally towards the feeling. Your feeling, not his conversation, not what he said, but your feeling. You react according to your feeling. You understand? When he say, you are so nice, you are so beautiful, and you say, listen, darling, you sit down. I cook a dinner for you. I make a coffee for you. I make a cake for you. You want to cry because he never said that before. And now he just say, I love you so much, darling. So what you react, what your manifestation of your reaction is not towards what he said, not to his character, but to your feeling. You feel so good. So you are prepared to do everything to satisfy your happiness, your inside happiness. So you are very happy to do everything for him, not because he said nicely to you, but because you feel good. You have to understand that, okay? So when you get into meditation, in the next lesson, I will tell you how to control the feeling. Everything you do is to satisfy your feeling, your own feeling, your self-feeling. Not because your parent look after you, not because the husband say nicely to you, not because a son impress you and say nicely to you, or your daughter give you something, cakes, or kiss you. No, it's not a kiss you react, but your feeling, you see, the feeling inside you force you to react the way you should react. Say if your daughter, she rushed to impress you, and she kissed you. She say, Mommy, I miss you. I love you so much. Your tear drop out. You cry in your heart. It's not because what she said, but because you're feeling. You feel so good. You feel so happy. So you react against your feeling, your own feeling. You know the English proverb, they say that the most stupid thing. You don't know who you are. You just react according to your feeling. And the way you react according to your feeling will establish your personality in a society. And that's very important. That's why all the monks, they try to control their feeling. And the Vipassana meditation, the first thing they have to do is to control the feeling. First, they have to identify the feeling, understand the feeling, and then manipulate the feeling and control the feeling. That's 4 steps. You have to identify the feeling. If you don't identify the feelings, no way you can do anything because you don't know it exists. Like somebody told me already, they went to the noodle shop. They just want the noodle soup. They don't want anything else. Don't tell me a lie. When you go to the noodle soup, the shop selling noodle soup, are you just taste the soup and the rest just throw it away? Chicken, noodle, and all the ginger, onion inside, you just throw it away. Do you? No, you ate them all. But your feeling, the best feeling is you have the favorite soup. You are not eating the noodle soup to satisfy your hunger, to satisfy the need of your body, but you eat it because of your feeling. And also why you go to a particular noodle shop. You don't want any other shop. You just want to go to that particular shop. Why? Because the environment, because you feel good, you feel safe, you feel harmonious when you stay in that shop. You trust the shop owner, you trust the food, and all kind of trust or belief or interrelation between you and the shop owner, it's just a feeling. So 2 kinds of feeling, one with wisdom, another one without wisdom. Okay, I think we stop here. Try to observe from now on until the next lesson, your feeling when you eat, when you sleep, when you talk, when you sit, when you go to the toilet. What kind of feeling? I want you to tell me. When you got a problem in toileting, you just sit down, you cannot discharge the waste. How do you feel? And if your husband remember your birthday, he bring home a cake, and you say, honey, I love you so much, that's a cake. How do you feel? You feel about the cake? You feel about him? Or you feel about your feeling? You have to understand it in order to meditate properly to get a successful outcome. Otherwise, you just sit, meditate, and you get nothing. Just like sitting, sleeping. Doesn't go anywhere. It never improves your wisdom. Okay. We stop here. Any question? No? Okay. Keep it for the next time. But remember, from now on until the next lesson, you have to observe your feeling. When your husband gives you a birthday cake, you have to ask yourself, what kind of feeling I have? Feeling for your husband? Feeling for the cakes? Feeling for what he said? Or feeling for your own happiness? How do you feel inside yourself? And remember one thing, it come and go, it come and go. Okay?
Master, I have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
During talking to someone, I observed and I realized that there are 2 different feelings. Some conversation because the conversation because we care, we love, the feeling inside, the vibration inside feel very peace. But some conversation, when I observe, I realize something that will show up. It's because of we without love, without care, because we want to show up or something like that. And the vibration, the shaking inside stronger. And I didn't feel convenient with that feeling. And then I realized that, what should I do? Because the feeling inside very strange. I think something like vibration, shaking, and it's not good for me. I don't know how to explain it, name it, but different feeling.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
I know the feeling have a different kind. It come and go immediately. In one conversation, you may have 10,000 kinds of feeling existing. But we will come into that later on to identify the feeling, to understand the feeling, to understand the composition of the feeling, and also try to manipulate the feeling to get the wisdom. We study it in few next lesson, but now we just try to observe our feeling. I noticed that in your talk, you keep talking about the conversation. So you actually identify yourself with the conversation, which is the external factor outside you. You see, that's the problem. If you identify yourself with the external factor, which is the conversation with somebody else, which is not you, and then you are in trouble because you are identifying yourself with object, and you become a part of the object. You see, in the Machiha Sutra, the Buddha talked about the root of the phenomenon. The uneducated, untrained people usually identify themselves with the external vibration, with the external environment, with the external phenomenon, which is in your case, conversation. If you listen to conversation and you get a feeling, you believe that you are having the feeling, but it's not true. You are actually engaging yourself with the conversation, and you identify you with the conversation. You are part of conversation, and that's why you cannot control your feeling. Okay. Okay. Later on we will study, but today we just try to observe our feeling. Okay. In all circumstances, eating, sleeping, toileting, talking, watching television, don't look at outside. Don't listen to outside. Look inside your feeling. If your husband says something to you, immediately you watch your feeling. Don't look at, don't examine, don't listen to what he said. Don't look at his face, but look at your feeling, your own feeling. If your son and your daughter talk to you, you immediately investigate your feeling, your own feeling. How do you feel? Don't pay attention to what he said. Don't pay attention to the meaning of what he said, the conversation or whatever. Just forget about that. Just look inside your body to see how you feel, where it come from. Okay. You go to bed, you eat, you sleep, you do everything, and then you have the feeling. Okay. Look at the feeling, your own feeling. Okay. Try to observe your own feeling, and you tell me the next lesson on Wednesday. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Your problem is you keep attaching yourself to the conversation, which is the external vibration. It's not inside yourself. It's not your own feeling. That's the problem, you see. And we will try to sort it out later on. Okay, so we close here.
Can I ask you a question, Master?
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. Nowadays, I try to focus on metta meditation. And then during the morning time, I do meditation, but the feeling just comfortable. I cannot recollect the feeling good or bad, just like comfortable. So how can I recollect the feeling at that time?
Oh, the feeling is nothing to do with the metta. Metta is a character. Metta is your character. Okay, you are born with the Metta. Everybody was born with the metta. But because you contact the external resources, you change, you cover up the metta with some anger, delusion, hatred. But inside yourself, you have the metta. No matter what. Say, your husband have the girlfriend, and one day you get upset, you shoot her. And when she dies, you feel sympathy, you feel upset. That's the metta. Metta always resides inside ourselves. But we are covering up with all the anger, delusion, because our eye, our ears, our nose, we act according to our feeling. Okay. Metta is not a feeling. Metta is a quality. Okay. Metta is a quality. The personal quality. Everybody has a metta. Okay. What you do, what you say, metta development or metta meditation, is to get rid of all the anger, delusion, greed, so that you will see your own metta. Because metta is inside yourself. Everybody has a metta. You love your son, you love your husband, you love your parent, you love everybody. Naturally, you love everybody. Even the dog, cat, you love them. You see? So that's the metta. That's the quality, that's the nature of everybody. You see?
Okay.
Okay. So it's nothing to do with the metta. Try to develop the metta, but I don't know your method of developing the metta. You look at all my lesson about the metta development in YouTube, then try to, or you can go to the tweetam.info. There's a series about the metta development program, step by step. Okay, shall we close? All the merit cultivated through our learning of the true Dhamma will help us to understand, to identify the feeling, understand the feeling, and manipulate the feeling for the worthy cause and the better outcome for our life and for the others. May the Buddha bless us so that we can continue to do the work we dedicated everything for our deceased relative and our friend who are unfortunately have no access to the true Dhamma. May all be happy and wise. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay,
Thank
see
you.
you on